Oh my God, I'm saying that forever now. I chafe under the rags of the comet because I'm a queen. Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka GeekXXShe, and we are back with another episode of Rings of Power, or Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. We're now to episode 3, which is called Adar, or Adar. I'm not exactly sure about the pronunciation. We'll find out soon enough. So the last episode, we ended on Galadriel, and I believe his name was Halbrand, drifting on what's left of what was once a ship, and it looked like they'd been discovered by another ship, but whether or not that's a human ship or an elfin ship, we're not sure yet, and no idea how they're going to treat Galadriel if it is indeed a human ship, but hopefully Halbrand and that necklace he's wearing is going to get them someplace. I feel like they wouldn't have showed it to us unless it's going to turn out to be something useful to Galadriel and the overall storyline, but either way, they needed to be rescued because they are probably this close to dying of dehydration. On the other side of the world, we had Nori basically trying to learn anything about her new ward, but unfortunately his speaking ability seems to be quite jumbled. He can mimic, but he's not actually saying anything, and when he does say something, it doesn't seem to be in a language that Nori understands. But we saw that he was able to create a star chart to point out some place that he's looking for, at least where a certain constellation exists, but Nori, living as a hobbit her whole life in a very small, closed off type of way, has no idea where it is. But even though, and on top of things, her father injured himself when they were trying to set up for this festival that they do right before they migrate to a new place. So she's being faced with a pretty huge decision of whether or not to help her family with this migration and, you know, continue on without this man, or to help him find where this constellation is. Now, of course, knowing the way the Lord of the Rings is, I'm fairly certain that she's going to choose the latter, but it's going to be a tough decision. And then outside of that, we had the realization that the orcs were real. We had, oh gosh, what is the name of the healer? I always forget her name. I feel terrible for it. But Bronwyn, there we go. We had Bronwyn, who discovered that the orcs were indeed back, very viscerally found that out. They almost took her son, but she managed to convince everybody in her town that they needed to leave the town because the orcs were burrowing underneath it, and head at least to the Elven Tower for now. And then, of course, our elfin friend, he is possibly in the care of the orcs right now. So hopefully he's not gone. I don't think they would kill him off quite like that, but who knows? So I'm very excited to get this episode and see where we're going to go next. But before I do, if this is your first time to my channel, welcome. Thank you so much for coming. I do reactions to shows like this here, so if you are interested in watching me do that, please think about hitting that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. That way you'll be notified when I do more reactions to this. And if you like this video, I'd appreciate it as well if you showed a little bit of love to the like button, as well as through some comments below if it's in your heart to do. And the same goes for those of you who've been here before. Welcome back. Thank you so much for coming back. I hope you are enjoying watching along with me, and you will join the fam if you haven't already. All right, that out of the way, guys, let's get into episode 3 right about now. No! Okay, he better be okay. They didn't kill him. That's what I thought. I didn't think they were going to kill him. Oh no, the people! Interesting. Why aren't they just killing them?
For Adar.
Who the hell is Adar? I don't even know who that is, bro. Oh, well, getting out just got significantly harder.
So much stuff about. Now dig.
Oh, they're using him for work. That makes sense. But, you know, with him being black, I actually take real offense to this. Yo, they've just been rounding up elves? From where? How? Are these all elven soldiers? I mean, they'd be hardier than the humans. The humans would probably give out after a little bit of work. They took your knife. Of course they did. Come on. Hello. Nah, they're trying to make this guy look way too much like Viggo Mortensen. He's got to be an ancestor. Why does she always look so angry? Try smiling. That'd probably go a long way with a lot of the people that try to help you, man. Ah, they're human. All right, let's just stare. That's not rude. Good day. Might I have some shoes? This is very awkward.
To what port do we sail?
See for yourself. We're nearly there.
Nearly where?
Didn't he say see for yourself? Oh, her knife. One step at a time. I get it. they will have, well, you understand why they can't give it back to you, right? They could have just killed you and left your ass out in the sea, you know? That is a big ass face. It's a very prominent nose. Many prominent noses. Do you know this place, Galadriel?
The westernmost of all mortal realms.
Yes.
The island kingdom of Numenor.
Woo! Well, okay, these were some self-important folks. It's like the Jesus statue in Brazil, but whoever that dude is, that is beautiful. Whoever is working on the design of all of these cities, give them awards immediately, because this has been stunning visually so far. Hands down, some of the best I've seen ever. Oh my gosh. The superpower of Numenorian people is to stare?
You would not want to be lost here without an escort.
Oh, I think that the other people around should be worried if she's left alone, okay? She a little dehydrated, a little tired, but she can still kick a lot of ass. Okay, so he was a smithy? He seemed very at home there. All right, let's find out why Numenor don't like us no more, when clearly the elves helped them out a lot. Could she get a chance to wash first or something? Cynthia died.
Galadriel of the Noldor, daughter of the Golden House of Finarfin, commander of the northern armies of High King Gil-galad.
Formally, you did get retired, but we'll leave that alone. He's like, damn, she's a commander.
All we ask is that Numenor continue his mercy and grant us ship's passage to Middle-earth.
He's like, I wasn't trying to go back to Middle-earth, thank you.
It is because of the elves that you were given this island. Surely you can spare a few planks and a rudder.
Whoop. But did she lie?
I have no need of your welcome.
And you are quickly wearing out yours.
God, ladies.
I will not be made a prisoner.
I would sooner kneecap a stallion than seek to imprison the mighty commander of the Northern Army.
Oh, wow. Wow. That can't leave and stay in this exact area that we tell you that's kind of like a prison. But don't feel like you're a prisoner.
My gratitude.
Yeah, I was about to say, someone should thank him. He really could have left your asses out there. It may not have turned out to be for the best, but you are alive today because of him, so.
I have been searching for my peace for longer than you know. Please, for both our sakes, let me keep it.
Right? His mission, your mission is not his. She's like, I don't know. You do owe him a handshake, though. Not him pilfering the knife. What? Okay, Halbrand can stay. She's like, I've just fallen slightly in love with you against my better judgment.
Dare not invite your father's cloud back overhead.
Oh, it was her dad. Okay.
Originally of a noble line, now a sea guardsman.
Why?
His son, if memory serves, said to follow him into the service.
Okay, so basically he should have just left them there and he did something he shouldn't have. We like him. I feel like he's gonna join them on their journey. I like seeing characters like that though, right? He has no reason to give up his so-called utopia, but he did the right thing. Wait, what is he hearing? Okay, the only other time we've heard whispering thus far has been with that boy and the sword. What? Let go! Let go! Dummy. Yeah, I'm not made for sea life. My head would be over the side of the boat. This is beautiful. They must have filmed this in New Zealand. That looks like New Zealand beaches.
The sea is always right. The sea is always right.
Yes. I don't think the sea cares, but sure.
Got your whole life to be an old maid.
Or to be young.
What are you doing here? Where's father?
Hi. Good to see you too. Glad you're home safe.
That their eyes and their judgment are ever upon us.
Deep. She looks magnificent, by the way. Love her costume design.
It originates there.
Pray tell, what does it mean?
One who loves the stars.
It's a beautiful name.
That is not its only translation, is it?
Yes, it is.
In the ancient tongue of the Eldar, it can also mean elf friend.
Then are you? An elf friend?
Maybe. Was that a terrible thing?
Then I shall have to ask you to perform a service.
Go kill her now. Oh, Queen, I want to love you, ma'am, but you're making it hard. You could literally just send her on her way. It ain't gotta be like this. But I get it. There's a little bit of a little power struggle between her and Galadriel happening right now that don't need to even be. You should be working together, sis. Queens against queen, queens with queens. Haha, you can't stay in the sun. Haha, orcs can't hang. Melanin to the rescue.
I do not know. But they ransack village after village, toiling nightly to find it for their leader.
They want the sword.
Felling a tree will slow our progress. We shall go around.
Try it, elf, and I will make a mess of your back.
Elves do revere trees.
It has earned its place in these lands.
It's not the battle you want to fight, my friend.
You've just earned your company. A water ration.
I wouldn't trust it. I don't trust it. I don't trust it at all. I knew it. I knew it. Not rotten leaves. He was a good kid. Rest well. You've earned your peace. Should have known it was a trap, right?
I will cut it down!
Alright, just shut up. I know it sucks. I mean, I feel like it's almost religious for elves, right? Not to destroy a tree, but there's a time and a place to pick your battles. And even when it comes to like your religious morals, sometimes you gotta figure out which battle is the right one to fight at the right time. But hey, this got him a chance to check out the tree line, so take it. I promise you the tree understands.
Informed Farazon that she's escaped. I informed him last time. That was a dog.
Not Galadriel just making fun of how loud these humans are. Maybe you should put your ears away, although I think everyone... Oh, there we go. I was like, I think everyone already knows who you are, but hiding your ears will go a long way.
So call to your guards, or get out of my way.
Lalje sanke loilquen, Erinia.
Don't you speak High Elvish to me. Oh, beautiful. Maybe she can find a record of whatever happened that caused the rift between these two groups, because how is everyone pissed at the Elvish, though? Like, I guess the way they handled the whole Morgoth thing must have really rubbed everybody the wrong way, because it feels like they should have at least one friend in this world. Nobody liked them. All right, cinematography flex, I see you. That horse is beautiful, you guys. I don't even want a horse, but I want this one. Oh, wow, it's the first time we've seen her smile. Possibly ever.
But until you've earned your guild crest, you can't forge steel in Numenor.
So how do I get the crest? I mean, it makes sense. If people gotta go through their whole, training years, you can't just jump the line.
What will you take next? Our lands? Our trades?
Don't forget your women.
I knew it was coming.
Maybe he and the she-elf aren't so close after all. Wager she'd prefer someone of better breeding.
Considering you've been on an island for hundreds of years, you shouldn't be talking about breeding.
Next few rounds on me.
I will say this for our friend. He is much better at diplomatic matters than Galadriel is. She kind of needs him, actually, because she doesn't, she's like a blunt instrument where he's like more of a silk cord, He knows how to slip through where he needs to. Did you steal his crest? You did, didn't you? You little thief.
I don't want any trouble.
Too late.
Bit late for that, isn't it?
You were looking for a reason to fight.
Why not?
Woo! That was a hell of an uppercut. Even I gotta admit. Oh God. That's one thing y'all rich people need to know, man. These poor folks can scrap. Okay? You think you... Oh! Oh my God!
Call me out,
Damn, he warned you. He did warn you. Run like you didn't do it. They were like this when I got here, man. So much for your peace. Ever at work, this girl. Ever at work. You gotta admire her ethic. Where does she keep finding new outfits, by the way? Just out of curiosity.
Thank our last king. And it's because of him this place wasn't torn down.
He was loyal to the elves.
Is loyal. We forced him from the throne for it.
This is no sigil.
It's a map!
It is a map of the Southlands. Where evil would not only endure, but thrive. A plan to be enacted in the event of Morgoth's defeat.
Oh, man. So you mean you shouldn't have defeated him? How much does that suck? It's like, so you're saying that if we let Morgoth live, we'd be chill? The music in this show is so good. I want that leather map, by the way. That better be merch.
That's right. Nobody goes up there.
The propaganda.
But then I saw you in the grass. You were so beautiful that day.
You better stop.
We'll make it to the grove.
Exactly. As long as you got each other, y'all be all right. Although, if you bring the creepy man with you, he can probably like whoosh your ass along or something because he brings a lot of wind.
Giant with a brackish temper who sometimes murders fireflies. It's an accident. Now I say that the only
She's so funny.
And you're gonna help me, or would you rather I let slip to Melva? It was you put fireweed in her toe cream.
Not you using blackmail. But truthfully, she must want to help you because otherwise she would have left your ass already or told on you.
Are you all right?
Yes. Almost done.
Look at, see, this is your besties of
How
four.
much have you got left? Just a little left?
Just tell them.
I'll tell him right now. I'll go straight now.
Calm yourself and get yourself some chestnut pie.
Friends, I'm telling you, this is why you need your bestie. Bestie's always got your back. And you have your little language. Like, she knew exactly what was being said. All right. She very much reminds me of, like, she's like the Samwise to Nori's Frodo. Reluctant, but has to help.
Stuck in the snows of the mountain pass. We wait for you.
I like that expression. We wait for you.
Strap. Dewis. Linseed Proudfellow.
Why is this so sad? He just wandered back to the camp, huh? No! No! What are you doing? Oh, he needs to see. Never mind, I thought he was gonna burn it. Can you do us a favor and not freak out now? Just quietly go back to your hovel? But I guess she found the right page. Oh my gosh, dude, why can't you just chill? Sir. Take a breath. Why would you set it on fire? Oh, I guess you don't understand how fire works, because your fire doesn't burn things. Oh no. Things just got really awkward. Please don't hurt the hobbits, they don't know better. Sorry, not him looking like a monster. I'm dead. Okay, there we go. You're such a dork. He's like, hi friend, I found you. Wow, we gotta give hobbits all the props. The way they hide so fast. Nori, you have some splaining to do.
You have lied, you've stolen.
Yes.
Brought a dangerous outsider into our midst.
Absolutely did.
And she lied. He already said that.
Yes.
The pages were all burnt up. Why didn't you bother to read them?
I thought we'd have time later.
Who's we?
No one? Me, myself, and I?
Just me. He's my friend.
We don't need friends, girl. We need to survive.
Without friends, what are we surviving for?
Perry! Tell him.
Any Harefoot that breaks them is to be
banished.
Caravaned.
All right. Peace out.
Miss Brandyfoot is young. But there's much hair still to grow on her toes as sense between her ears.
Ew, but thanks.
And the Brandyfoot cart will be with us.
You're a good man.
At the back of the caravan. At the back. At the back.
I mean, you do deserve a little punishment, I guess. He's got to appease people.
You may as well have stamped our name in the book of the left behind.
That's the part that sucks, though, is that it has a ripple effect.
Do you think the stars reached down and touched you? Is that it?
Well, kind of.
He is special. We can feel it.
Can you listen to your child for once?
But the tallest milkweed gets snipped.
Or it just stands tall. The messaging that's in all of this about not standing out, the fear of doing something different, so creatively done here. He's like, I'm sorry, I just wanted a snack, and I saw the map.
Is this really so tragic? Anarion told me you deferred twice.
Anarion? What's your brother have to do with this?
Nothing.
Well, slightly more than nothing.
Not the tattletale.
Convincing the sailmaster you were up to the task.
I never asked you to do that.
Yes, you did. When you got into a scrap with the Queen's Guard.
They started
All got thrown out of your horse train.
That wasn't my fault.
Actually, it feels right. That one wasn't.
I wasn't talking to you!
Jeez. I'm talking to your sister. I'm not talking to your sister. You need to learn how to talk to your children, sir. Clearly you're out of touch.
Can you not trust that I have ever your best interests at heart?
I mean, it's fine, but it doesn't mean that your best interest is what he wants to do.
When the sea trial begins and that ship launches, you will be on it.
And if I'm not?
I'm made apprentice. I've been accepted to the Builders Guild.
Yay!
Isildur convinced me to reapply.
Isildur convinced you?
Mm-hmm. You really need to learn how to talk to your kids, sir. You're clearly very out of touch with what they want and what makes them happy. He's an interesting guy, this guy. He looks like he's got a lot going on.
You are more than you claim. I found this in the Hall of Law.
It's a sigil around his neck, right? You're royal blood, aren't you?
Your people have no king, for you are him.
Deep.
A cage you have landed in because you chafe under the rags of the common.
Oh.
And the armor
Girl,
to rest
that
on
is
your
me.
shoulders.
Oh my God, I'm saying that forever now. I chafe under the rags of the common because I'm a queen. That is the line for the ages.
The heir to this mark is heir to more than just nobility. For it was his ancestor who swore a blood oath to Morgoth.
Yep. But you can change that.
My family that lost the war.
And it was mine who started it. Nor any of the words men use to speak of the forces they lack the conviction to name.
Oh, she
Ours
spoke.
was the work of something greater.
Yes, Mr. Tolkien.
You're still short an army.
That is all about to change.
You gotta admire her conviction. But it makes sense, though. I mean, humans do need to kind of redeem themselves. The elves just assuming that all of them were Morgoth worshippers is a bit much.
It is here, Father. The moment we feared. The elf has arrived.
The elf? You were acting like all of them showed up on the shores. Like, from the sounds of things, your dad's not down? I'm confused. I don't know who that man is, but I love him. You know what would help you pull your wagon? A man. Don't worry, the human will help you. Hi, I'm still here. Nori? Hi.
Friend.
Yes, we're friends. Can you carry this? Because you look strong.
This is how we keep up with the others, all of us. He helps us, and we help him.
You need him.
Can we, Mom?
Right? The kid's like,
Bring him?
Nori ain't dead. If he was gonna hurt her, he would have done it already. Look at his little face. How can you be mad at him? I mean, when he gets mad and like sets everything on fire, it's a little scary. But other than that, innocent as a bug. Come on. Take a chain to the face, bitch. Woo! Oh my God, this is hot. Chain fighting. That's right. Burn, bitches. No SPF for you. That's right. Get the melon. Get it in. Get it in. Damn their aim. Come on, guys. This is the best. This is the strongest tug of war you've ever had to fight. Come on. That's right. Y'all can go to sleep in there. Oh no! Burn! Burn! This is what happens when you don't have that melanin to protect you. Your ugly orc skin. What you gonna do?
Release the warg.
Damn it! They've got wargs. Don't look! Keep hammering! Let's go! Chop chop! Sad reality is that some of y'all are gonna have to take one for the team. You a badass, sis. Maybe not. Use that chain. Woo! This chain fu is the hottest thing I've ever seen in my life. You're not all gonna make it, my friend. You gotta go. Right in the neck, bitch. That's for my friend. That's for my friend. Oh, I wanted him to live, but his chain. Who got him? Other trench? Dude, you had to know you weren't gonna make it. You weren't all gonna make it.
Wait! Bring him.
Why?
To Adan.
Oh, finally get to hear the namesake of the episode, or see him. But they said Adar was an elven name. I bet you it's an elf. Elf trader. Sure enough. That was an elf. Interesting. Now we see there was an elfin trader in their midst helping them out. Makes sense, because I was like, from what I remember, orcs aren't that smart. They don't organize well. They need a leader, and they're not smart enough to organize themselves, especially to do something as calculated as this. So I thought maybe it was Sauron, but Sauron needs generals, right? If he's going to keep low. I wonder what they offered Adar. What Sauron told him he was going to get in order to do this. But then again, we haven't even seen our Wraith Kings, right? No, the Wraith Kings were all men, were they not? Yeah, I think the Wraith Kings were all men, I think. It's been so long. I really do have to rewatch the movies now. It's been so long. I mean, reading the books would be great too, but I don't get that kind of time right now. Wow, that was a really interesting episode. I feel like we spent maybe a little too much time with the Galadriel and Numenor, but I understand that because Numenor was just something that was referenced in the first book, or in the earlier books and in the movies, it's kind of nice for us to see what this kingdom's all about and to see a little bit of what led to their eventual demise. And I get that we also need to see kind of how Galadriel ends up getting Halbrand on board with her mission, because in the last episode, they were definitely on different sides of that page, understandably, right? Halbrand is like, I just literally managed to escape the Southlands with my life. Why would I want to go back there and risk my life again, right? That's just a very, very natural thing to say, especially if someone who doesn't have immortality on their side. And we have, of course, Galadriel, who's just driven by a little bit, of course, her revenge. We know that's her main reason, but also because she wants to prove that she's right. She knows that this situation with Sauron and the elves and everything is not over. And I think this episode really gave us the most insight into why else she's being so determined to pursue this, right? She said that, like, she feels like her house has fallen, or that the pride of her house has been stained because her brother, I'm assuming, and other members of her family were the ones who thought that this war needed to be waged in the first place. And that's one thing I think that was a little bit unclear in the first couple of episodes, but I guess we're to believe that Morgoth doing what he was doing in Middle-earth, it didn't directly affect the elves per se, right? The elves didn't have to get involved, I guess was it. I mean, they clearly saw that it was having having an impact like we saw in the first episode. Like it was taking out the sunlight that they saw all the time. It was putting an air of darkness in the world. And I do believe truthfully that, if they did eventually take over all of Middle Earth, they would start setting their sights further, abroad, right? They would have inevitably ended up in Elven Town at some point. But I guess the issue really developed in that, I guess, not all of the elves. I think the elves are very much like hobbits, right? And that they were kind of like human things, Middle Earth things, not our problem. We're just chilling over here, being peaceful, living our lives out till we go to our sweet beyond. The earth, the humans are just these lowly creatures who fight amongst themselves. But then these elves said, no, like if this is what's happening there, how long before it hits our shores? We should nip it in the bud. And again, in their arrogance, they were like, we're going to go down there and we'll kill off this little Morgoth, and we're going to be back in a couple of weeks. It'll be done. And then, as we heard in the first episode, it turned out being, centuries of war, because they completely underestimated the power of Morgoth, the power of the humans, the power of the huge orc army that they'd created. So it was something where I feel like the elven community to some degree probably disagreed with the starting of this war in the first place. And of course, we don't even know, like probably hundreds or thousands of elven lives that were sacrificed because of it. And then conversely, when the elves showed up on, in Middle Earth and saw that some of the humans had decided to work with Morgoth, most likely because they were promised all sorts of things like power and, immortality and all these other things that seemed elusive to them. The elves just basically took the mindset of, oh, all humans can't be trusted, because why would they side with this person, right? Not finding out why or what was going on. It doesn't look like they even tried to reason with these humans. They were just like, humans are a problem. We need to get them underfoot, destroy the ones who are fiercely loyal, and everybody else has to be under our watch, right? Which we already know as humans, we don't like that. We don't like people taking our freedom away. So understandable why humans still don't have a very good taste in their mouth when it comes to elves and the elven presence, right? Because for them, it's always a reminder that some of their ancestors did some horrible things. But again, as we saw in the last episode, a lot of them are like, our ancestors did that. They've been dead for a long time now. Why are we still being judged? But as we saw with that, annoying little kid with his little possessed sword there that he's using, it's not just the ancestors, right? Like the sad reality is, I've talked about this in so many other shows that I react to, is that even if you take out a figurehead of a certain idea, the thinking behind it can remain for a long time. And clearly Morgoth and, his followers, Sauron, etc., like the ideas that he put out there still exist, and there will definitely still be humans who would choose the side of Sauron. And we saw that even in Lord of the Rings, that there were still humans and other, groups that chose to side with Sauron and evil because they felt like the benefits of that were better for them. So anyway, interesting to see a little bit more of, I think we got a little bit more background on how we all got here. But now we see that with Galadriel, she feels like she needs to redeem her family and the name of her family, and saying that this war was justified, right? Because so much death, so much pain has been suffered. We got to win this. This is the only way I'm going to find peace and feel like we didn't ruin everything, is if I actually prove that this Sauron is still alive and I defeat him and make it all worth it. And then conversely, we know so little about Halbrand, obviously. Like, we got a little bit more of him this episode, because last episode he had like 4 lines, but we see that he's a little quick with his hands, a little sticky fingered, and he clearly likes smithing. And we saw when he walked past it on his way to the palace, he was very interested. But we see that the Numenors have been living in their little secluded place for a long time. They're kind of thumbing their nose at the rest of Middle Earth and the rest of the humans, which is interesting, because it's like, y'all are still human too. What you mean? But anyway, they're very much thinking we're highborn. You guys are just the lowly, mud people that are over there. And they don't really want to let him in. But also, I don't think it helped that he came in with Galadriel and obviously isn't really talking any smack about her either. So even though he said he wanted to stay there, and I do believe for a time he probably would have been happy just chilling out there, getting a chance to do his craft and try to drown his sorrows over what could have been. But I think Galadriel definitely was speaking some truth when she said, like, I think there's more to you than that. I think there's something more that you want. And then, of course, she brought up the fact that he still holds on to that family crest. And like, him saying, oh, I took it off a dead man. It's like, yeah, I mean, like your father, maybe, or your uncle. But yeah, the way he grabbed onto it, the way he, treats it, you can tell it's more than just some trinket that he picked up off of someone. Plus, if that was the case, he would have just sold it, right? He wouldn't have known the significance of it. So like she said, like, you got royal blood in your veins, and you have a kingdom that you should be claiming or trying to claim. So here's your opportunity to do that. If you work with me, we clean your house, basically, get these orcs out of your house and this evil out of your house, and you get to get your crown back, and then, humans and elves can go their separate ways, or so she thinks, right? We all know that down the line that doesn't happen, but digressing. So that was kind of interesting to get that out of the way, and also we're still trying to figure out exactly what happened in Numenor, why they're anti-elf now, because apparently they were all friendly at least a few centuries back, but then suddenly the king of Numenor just stopped letting elves come in and just never really gave an explanation. So I don't know, maybe it's the same case of what happened with Durin. Like maybe the elves just disappeared for 100 years and just thought, oh, right, forgot about y'all. We were going to come by, in a couple centuries, elven time. But we'll have to see, since from the sounds of things, we found out that the king, the actual king, was actually still elven, elf friendly. Like he's not necessarily pro-elf, but he's not anti-elf. But apparently the people of Numenor were so upset with him for not wanting to tear down all elven relics and rip this, history out, that he was removed from the throne. And we see now his daughter, who's become queen regent in his place. So now we know why she's in power, but he's still alive, apparently still alive. He's in his tower, and that's where he's staying. But I'm thinking, like, whenever you hear about kings who suddenly just retire to their tower and are never seen again, that usually means something else is afoot. So I'm wondering if her father is still really alive, or if he's alive, if he's maybe being kept under some kind of spell or drugs or something to keep him from doing whatever. Because it just seems strange, like I said, for have a monarch just disappear and not even like show up for face. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see in the next episode what's going on. Then we saw a little bit more on our elfin friend. I have his name. Hold on. Erandir. His name is Erandir. Sorry. So yes, we caught up with Erandir and found out that not only did he get captured by these orcs, but that the people that were in his elven post were all taken as well. So it looks like they were trying to escape, and they were grabbed by these orcs. And it looks like the vast majority of their captives are elves. So it's interesting, because at first I thought they were the townspeople, which I think there might be still a handful of the townspeople. That's right, they said the town was empty. So they are keeping some of the humans alive. It looks like they're using some of them for labor. Maybe the ones who are too weak, they're just keeping them there for some reason. Most likely actually to keep the humans in line. That's a great way to keep them from running, actually. But that they also have a bunch of elves that are there. And I can see, like I said, as far as a workforce, you're not going to do much better than elves that are basically immortal and have way more strength and durability than your average human. Like they're going to do a lot more work than a human who's going to, get tired and grow old and break, quite frankly. So this is what they've been doing, is that they've been forced to do more of this digging. We're not sure where they're going to at this point. And we found out from the captain who said to Erandir that we don't know exactly where they're going. They're just saying that this Adar person is who's leading it, and they talk about him like he's a god. And then that's what we heard, that it sounds like an elven name, and he's like, maybe, but they're probably just referring to Sauron because he had many names. But no, he really is an elf from right here and now. We saw that they were like, we have to try to get out of here and get at least one person free, because then they can get back to the old country and let them know what's happening, and they can send reinforcements to free everybody else. Because, if we just keep digging, we're going to dig till we die. And interesting with the whole tree argument that they had around not wanting to cut down the tree, elves and their trees, right? We know how reverent they feel about those, but I thought it was a great representation of how things can go for people who are in captivity, the kind of decisions you have to make to survive. And, like I said, for I think these elves, the trees are almost like a religion for them. Like not cutting them down is something that's like akin to committing a moral crime for them. But is it the right thing to do if it means risking your life or saving the lives of others, right? Is the real question. And that's the thing. Like, it wouldn't have just been their captain that died for keeping this tree alive. It would probably been all of them. As we saw, that poor guy was collateral damage because he refused to cut down the tree. So it's a rough reality of what it's like to be a captive and some of the hard decisions that have to be made just to save your life. But then we saw they formulated a plan to try to get one of them out. But unfortunately, it didn't go quite the way that they'd hoped. But we got to see some badass skills by Erandir and even his captain. Like I said, that chain fu, that was cool. The way they incorporated that into the fighting was beautiful. I love when they find creative ways to show battle scenes, and that was A+. And we said, unfortunately, it was all for naught for now. Unfortunately, we had a lot of elves who had to die for that escape attempt, and sadly, not one of them got out. And they're definitely going to be prepared for the next time they try anything like that. They didn't kill Erandir, right? Like, they really were just, normally they would have just killed him, but one of their head orcs said, no, like, take him to Adar. Adar would want to see him. So interesting. I do wonder why. My guess is that Adar is probably going to offer him the same deal that maybe Sauron offered him around why he should turn his back on the elves and join their cause. We'll see what happens. I'm just glad my boy didn't die though, because I like him a lot, but it's sad that he's basically lost everybody that he spent a lot of time with here. And then finally we ended with seeing our girl Nori, and basically she decided she was going to go with her migration because with her father's situation with his leg, it's no better, and it looks like they've got a long ass way to walk, and this caravan is basically like, yeah, it's your problem if you're hurt. It's sad, but I understand this is the way it is with many nomadic cultures. Like, you either keep up or you stay behind. There's no alternatives, unfortunately. And we see that Nori knew that the stars that this man was looking for would most likely be in the book that her village elder had, and she found the actual constellation and left it for our guy who she thought was going to stay where he normally was. But while they were having the remembrance ceremony, which I thought was actually very beautiful, I was actually finding myself being touched with the way that they were expressing it and the way that they worded it. It was very beautiful in my opinion. But anyway, my poor guy ended up stumbling in and making a big mess of things because he's still a little bit derpy. I feel like it's got to be Gandalf. Like, I see so many Gandalf-like traits in this guy. Like, because, you know, even the Gandalf we knew from the newer films, he was not this polished, you know, well-to-do guy. Like, he was kind of bumbly. He was very endearing. He was very kind. And he definitely never followed the rules that many people would expect of someone like him. So I get that even though this man has not said one real line so far other than friend, the actor's doing a fantastic job of kind of making himself seem both vulnerable and even a little scary at the same time. But anyway, I really liked the way they handled it with him stumbling into the camp and getting caught up in the net and looking like this weird sack monster was hilarious. But I really love that it showed, again, this actor doing an amazing job. You know, when Nori was getting yelled at and, you know, basically when the whole caravan wanted to have her expelled for this, just seeing how hurt she was and how upset her family was. You could see in his eyes he felt empathy for her because she was just helping him. And I think he's figured out that she has been greatly helpful to him. So we saw that even though thankfully their village elder is a good man, like he didn't decide to be hasty. He's like, all right, y'all did screw up, but we're not going to kick you out, which would essentially be death for them really, because they don't know how to survive on their own. But we're going to put you at the back of the caravan though, so that, you know, we can appease everybody to, you know, so they can't say we didn't give you some punishment. But we see there that thank goodness that they have the little human friend now, because he's able, with his strength, he's able to help them out because they need it, right? Because to carry all their stuff, they need at least 2 strong, able-bodied people, or 3, I guess, in this case. And with Dad's foot being out and his back's clearly not doing well either, they need all the help they can get. So I really like that ending, and just that one word where he's like, friend. So great episode again. I really love the writing in this show and still very invested in the story. I still want to know more about these characters, and I'm really just curious as to where we're going to go in this season, because I feel like there's still so many things we could explore, but we got to have some kind of culmination point. So I'm hoping we're going to get a little bit more drops as to what that might be in the next episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, I'd appreciate it if you give this video a thumbs up, and we will see you in the next video.